Hello, David.
Hello, Karat.
My next question. How can we describe risks clearly and unambiguously?
Yes, often risk descriptions are confusing and language is used in a very loose way. We need to remember that if risk is uncertainty that matters, our description should include at least those two things.
Yeah.
The risk is the uncertainty. So a description of risk should use uncertainty language. Something might or might not. This could, it's possible. That's something that we should think about. So we need uncertainty language to describe the uncertainty part, and then the effect only occurs if the risk happens. So we use dependency or contingent language. This would follow if this happens.
Yes.
So the language should help us. The other thing to remember is that risks come from somewhere. There are causes of risk, and very often the cause of risk or the effect of risk is confused with the risk itself. So we might say there's a risk of a late delivery. Well, no, that's the effect of a risk. We might say we have a very inexperienced team. There's a risk because we have well, that's not the risk, that's a fact. It's not uncertain. We have an inexperienced team. There's something which sits between the fact that we have an inexperienced team and we might deliver late, which is the actual risk that connects those things.
Yes.
So one way to find the risk is to have a structured description of the risk which puts the cause and then the risk and then the effect. So we could say it like this: because we have an inexperienced team, we might spend longer on designing and developing the solution, which would lead to a delayed delivery.
Correct.
So what are we going to manage? We can't manage the delayed delivery, it's too late. If we get that, we've got a problem. We can't manage, we've got an inexperienced team. We've got an inexperienced team. What we can manage is we might spend too long on the design and development of the solution.
Yeah.
So how do we deal with that? And we deal with that through training, through use of templates, through reuse of existing solutions, through a rigorous design review process and so on.
Better time management.
Time management, of course, and planning and so on.
Yeah.
So by saying, because of the cause, some risk might occur, which would lead to an effect, then we separate the risk from its cause and its effect.
Absolutely.
Now, we have a name for that, a piece of jargon, a jargon label. It's called risk meta-language. A meta-language is a language that describes a language.
Risk meta-language.
Meta-language. So language is cause, risk, and effect. The risk meta-language says because of the cause, you might get a risk that would lead to an effect. And I think if we just separate those three things in our description of the risk, then it clarifies our thinking, but it also clarifies the focus of risk management. And we can say the risk is the thing in the middle that hasn't happened yet. The cause we know, we have that. Because of this cause, we might get an uncertainty that matters, the risk, that's what we're going to manage. Because if that happens, there's an effect on an objective.
That's right.
So the idea of a risk meta-language is to give us that clear description so we know what it is we're going to focus on, what is the risk, so we can do risk management.
And therefore we can treat the risk and lead us to the risk mitigation.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, David.
It's a pleasure.